Welcome everybody to our webinar. My name is Morgan Giorgio. I am the Senior Vice President, Sales and Marketing for Direct Mail 2.0. A little bit about Direct Mail 2.0. Our sole purpose and goal is to make direct mail the most effective form of marketing by integrating it with cutting edge technology. We do have a 14 technology platform that integrates into direct mail to add value in a couple of different ways. One, to seamlessly track the mail, show attribution, provide reporting, but most importantly, we layer on an omni-channel marketing strategy so that we can lift the responsive mail over just a traditional ink on paper method. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific marketing product that we have called a political power up. So just for the political mail space, and I'm very excited to have a special guest with us today. His name is Jim Richard, and he is the National Lead Political Mail Strategist from the United States Postal Service, and he is going to be giving us a lot of knowledge and insight on the whole foundation of it all, and that's just how we can strategically put together effective political mail campaigns and talk about a lot of the resources that he has to offer and that he can provide anybody that's in this space. Jim, if you want to go ahead and just give us a quick intro.
Thank you, Morgan. So I love political mail, and certainly, I don't know about you, but political seems to be all year long now. So everywhere you look, you're constantly hearing something that's politically charged, or people want to speak to it. So this is going to be a great year, and already has been for political mail. So I look forward to this call.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that in the midterms, your mail volume was up exponentially over the last election, right?
Yeah.
So, yep. Well, I am excited. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get through all of our content. So if anyone has any questions as we're going through, please just go ahead, pop them into the chat. And when we get through all of our content at the end, we'll have a Q&A. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Jim is going to kick us off, and then from there, we'll get into some of best practices and strategic marketing strategy for political mail campaigns.
So what we're looking at here is actually a study from the state of direct mail by Lobb. So it was a great one that came out. And Morgan, I appreciate that you talked about the multi-channel or the omni-channel approach, because even though we're going to be specializing or focusing on political mail today, there is no way that I would say mail only. The more ways you can reach constituents or voters, the better. I mean, because we're all folks that like to be marketed and communicate in different channels. And in their study, they showed that 66% of companies that were advertising with multiple channels had a 66% higher return, and direct mail yielded a 74% highest ROI when using those in a campaign. And you improve your channel performance 84% of the time when you're combining mail into that media mix. So political mail is a good opportunity to exponentially get better results in your campaign. So we can go to our next one. So you talked about the growth in political mail. You can see as we were looking at the midterm elections, which had recently passed, we saw a 44% increase in our political mail revenue. So that was great for us. We really enjoyed that, and it really showed that political marketers saw the value of mail, and you can see our volume increased as well, almost 3.9 billion pieces. We are trending that way as well now as we're moving into the, of course, presidential season. So next slide. So what I love about political mail is throughout the voter journey, there is a lot of different places that political mail can fit. So everywhere from trying to make your potential voters aware that you're running to get that interest, all the way to getting them out to vote, and then amplifying your message by having folks share messages with like-minded voters they may think could swing the election. So some examples of that are on the next slide, where if we take the awareness and interest stage. So from our growing impact of direct mail, that was our white paper study done in 2023. When you're considering creative, what we notice is it's an opportunity to use mail to really introduce who you are, which party you may be affiliated with, and you could use things like QR codes to connect that messaging to some of your digital channels. So like your party affiliation, some of your quick bios, those kind of things are important in the early stages of communicating who you are. You'll see on this mail piece right here, one of the things we also suggest is if you're going to use a QR code, and here's a trivia question. Most people don't understand what QR means. It actually stands for quick response. So if you want a quick response from the folks you're sending this to, use a QR code. So try not to put it on the address side because it potentially could cause some processing issues. So here's a great example of Win for America. It's just a quick, here I am. And these are the things you want to think about me. As you move further in the voter's journey, they want to become like educated and they need to start evaluating who the different candidates are they may be considering. So on the next slide is how a mail piece might look, where you talk about some of those issues that you as a candidate, or if you're a political action committee, those type things, what it is you are promoting or trying to get the message out. Here's an example of a candidate who's going after, better schools and communities. Who doesn't want that? And certainly a lot of hot button issues about, parental rights in schools, political hot topics. I'm not going to go there. But if you're a candidate that stands one side or the other, talk to them, tell them what you care about. And from a creative perspective, you want to include imagery or personalization things that look like the person that you're sending it to. So for instance, in this example, Jane Doe, she cares about the school. So the image down on the bottom right where it's elect Jane Doe has parents that would be concerned about those type things. If this were a piece and maybe it was Hispanic related issues, great, use imagery, use things that favor Hispanics as well as, male, female, different age groups, which we'll get into later in some of the demographics. But again, great opportunity to start showing your messaging in ways that resonate with your voters. And then the last example is, hey, I can educate them all day long and let them know I exist, but if I can't get them to the ballot box, which would be the get out the vote strategy on the next slide, you got to tell me when to vote, how to vote, what does it look like? I have not voted on election day in probably 11 years now. I am an early voter. So whenever I get mail pieces during that window of early voting, just before it, that goes on my refrigerator, I've got one that, I'll keep by the dinner table to remind me, you better schedule this. You need to get out there for early voting. So I really appreciate mail being a part of that mix. As a matter of fact, you can see post-election research shows that direct mail was the favored format for that type information. Again, if it's going to be vote by mail, those type things, voters really appreciate some form of instruction on how to do it properly, when to send it, how to order it, all that good stuff. So political mail can be a great piece to add to that mix. So if we go on to the next slide, yes, about what kind of elections do we work on? Myself and other, we'll call it political mail strategists with the Postal Service, we kind of advise, we guide, we suggest things, and we work at all levels, from the federal, state to the local level. For me, I've never seen more engagement at the local level than I ever have been. I know, for example, in 2022, my local school board election, 8 weeks before election day, I had received 10 mail pieces from just one school board candidate, which is crazy. But by 2023, I'd received 21 from that same candidate. So mail pays off, and it's just amazing that at the local level, politics are so front and center now. I mean, I don't know about you, but everyone I have around me in my neighborhood, in my local community, they care about local matters. So not only obviously is a presidential election so important, but even at the local level, the elections matter. So
Now,
we can help.
I have a question for you real quick, Jim. Did you happen to see any other type of advertising for that candidate that you received the 21 mail pieces for? And did you receive any mail for the opposing political candidates?
So good question. I saw yard signs. I did get a few emails. And out of the 21 pieces, 18 were from that local candidate and 3 were from what I would consider the competition. So it was interesting. And I mean, I laid them out, and not just because I'm in political mail, but it mattered to me. So I would compare where their stances were. Were they being vague, or were they, being delivered on where they stand? So it was interesting in that regards.
Sure.
And on the next slide, so we talked about what we work on. Who can we help? So we can actually work with the candidates and the campaigns, as you do as well. In my local election, there were outside spending groups. I would look on the mail piece and I would see a political action committee hundreds of miles away from my local school board election. I'm like, that is crazy. But we can work with outside spending groups because some of them have interest in those type of elections. Of course, our political action committees and ballot initiatives. Seems like every election there is some ballot initiative that is out there. And political mail is a great way to position, where you would like to see some of those ballot initiatives go.
Absolutely.
On our next slide. So we threw some statistics at you, but one great place that we've captured it all, because even, you'll be sharing some of these stats from different studies that we've done, is our deliverthewin.com website. And this is a website that we set up so that anything political mail related, any studies that we've done, any thoughts or content, like this one right here is one of our recent ones. Maybe still so you can see it. Yeah. So it's the what we call the campaign handbook. And what this one does is, like, for example, voter mindsets. So we have different stats and things that relate to different types of voters, those that maybe wait till later in the cycle to vote, the early voters, the issue voters, again, the demographic, those things that make a difference. So this campaign handbook is going to give you some great examples of how you could use mail at various places in the campaign. In addition to some of those direct mail samples that we looked at, there are other great examples in there as well that you could utilize. So you'll definitely want to visit the deliverthewin.com website. And that physical book that I just showed you is front and center on the main page. So if you would like to get a physical copy of that, be sure to go on our website and order it. We'll have it sent to you. And if you want to reach out to someone like myself or my counterparts, we would be glad to assist you in that political mail conversation.
Yeah, there's
and I think on our next slide.
Oh, I didn't. Where's there something else that you're going to go to? Well, I actually just Jim sent that book over to me. Was it yesterday? And I was like, wow.
Yes, I did yesterday.
It was like chock full of so much valuable content, just from, inception to strategic initiatives. It has everything you need. And when you go right on the Deliver the Win website, it's the very first resource that's at the top, and it's brand new. It wasn't up there like a couple weeks ago when I was just looking for it. And then they've got tons of additional white paper collateral. And then if you need any assistance on how to implement that, with a client or within a political mail campaign, then Jim and his team are readily available. And now, Jim, your team, just so they understand now, they work with people depending upon different regions. Is that the way that it works, or?
Actually, we actually now have, I'll say, political mail folks at every district in the Postal Service. So we can reach everybody.
Okay, fantastic. You guys are really upping your game over there. That's good. I like it.
Yes, we are.
All right. So, and if they wanted to get in contact with somebody, the best way to do that is just directly through you or on the Deliver the Win website.
Yeah, either or. And I know at the end of the presentation, my contact email is there. So if you want to reach out to me directly, I can certainly connect you with the appropriate folks.
All right. Fantastic. Jim, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Stick around. I know that we're going to have probably questions at the end. So sure. Now that was a really fantastic foundation that Jim laid out for us there. And he has so much insight to tap into. So anybody interested in breaking into the space or expanding upon their existing political mail revenue, or that's looking to improve their strategy with their clients, him and his team are a phenomenal resource for you guys to tap into. It's something that's readily available there, so take advantage of it. Now what I want to get into really is all of the opportunity that is out there and available to anybody that is in the print or mail space or in the marketing space. Industry experts are projecting that the 2024 political ad spend will hit about $10.2 billion, which is about a 13% increase over the $9 billion that was spent in 2020. And you can see from the statistical data that Jim was showing that a large portion of this increase in spend is being attributed to mail. And that's because of the efficacy in mail. And it's ever more important, though, that we are employing the right strategic initiatives in terms of our marketing campaigns in the political space, because the struggle for voter attention is real, guys. The spending is increasing dramatically, but it is the performance in some of these different marketing ecosystems or through some of these channels, unfortunately, is decreasing. So it's ever more important that we are employing the appropriate marketing strategy that is going to yield the best results. And we want to always be adding more value for our customers. So what maybe was working, a couple of years ago for your political mail clients may not be as effective today. And that goes for their mail strategy, that goes for their digital strategy. And what I want to talk about today is utilizing something that's really the best of both worlds, or the perfect marriage between offline and online, that we know is going to drive very high results, not only in the political mail space, but if you're using the direct mail marketing channel in general. But it all really starts with the power of mail. Now, when I talk about an omni-channel marketing campaign, one of the reasons why omni-channel marketing campaigns through Direct Mail 2.0 are so effective is because we are harnessing the power that is driven by direct mail. Now, why is direct mail so important in the political mail space? Well, unfortunately, politicians don't have a very strong reputation for being extremely trustworthy. Unfortunately, it's just not something that they're just not really perceived as being trustworthy most of the time. And there's been so much chatter around how trustworthy are ads in the digital marketing space, or is there censorship, or who is putting these ads out? And most Americans believe that mail is more factual than any other form of political advertising. And above and beyond that, it yields a very high response rate, and it packs a very powerful punch, right? It's tangible. There's very high brand recall. We know that when someone goes out to their mailbox, they're going to get the marketing message, even if they decide to discard it. And if that message were repeated through digital channels after the fact, it's going to impinge, and it's going to stand out in this crowd and the sea of marketing messages that people are seeing on a daily basis. Now, nearly half of consultants, around 47%, believe that direct mail was the most effective type of political advertising for educating potential voters. And among political consultants with expertise in direct mail, that number actually jumps up to 70%. So 2 in 3 Americans trust direct mail versus all sources. So it's imperative that you have direct mail in a political mail strategy or in your political marketing efforts in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to talk about how we start with mail and we end with mail to deliver the best results. But mail should definitely be a part of a political marketing strategy. Now, the other thing about direct mail is that it's not only effective at building trust, but it also helps reinforce other forms of political advertising. Now, why is that? Well, let's think about how people respond to marketing. If I get a direct mail piece, or I'm having some type of an interest in a political candidate, maybe I see a social media ad, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go online. I want to learn more about this political candidate. I want to see what their stance are on other issues. And I'm going to respond to that direct mail piece by going online. And now I have an opportunity to re-engage those prospective voters through the digital marketing ecosystem. And 48% of Americans say that the mail they received actually drove them to search online for more information. And it does reinforce the information that they are seeing on TV or online. So we know that direct mail is an extremely trustworthy marketing channel. So we know that we're also going to be putting some budget into the digital ad space. So ensuring that we inject direct mail into our digital marketing strategy is extremely imperative as well, because it's just going to reinforce whatever it is that they're seeing online. And when you have a direct mail campaign, it's going to help drive online and drive higher traction for your digital marketing campaigns as well. Now, campaign managers themselves even recognize the value of pairing direct mail with other campaign channels. And this was a quote from a Republican consultant that said that you actually have to be very smart. You have to integrate your direct mail with other tactics, and making sure that they are syncing up their direct mail with their digital campaigns, because this is what is shown to be the most effective and drive the highest results. And what I want to talk about today is an opportunity where you can tap into an 11 technology platform that is giving you the best of both worlds. That's giving you that offline and online, and is going to strategically deliver the highest results possible when paired with a political mail campaign. So we have a product that's called Political Power Up. It's an omni-channel marketing solution that's going to seamlessly track the effectiveness of a direct mail campaign while driving an increase in results over just a traditional standalone direct mail campaign through cross-channel promotion on digital platforms. Now, I just want to note that this political power up is not in any way, shape, or form a replacement for your current digital marketing strategy. We would encourage you to continue with your digital marketing strategy. That is driving a significant amount of value. The political power up, or anytime that you are integrating omni-channel into your direct mail campaigns, is a mail-centric marketing tactic where we are seeking to boost the results of your direct mail campaign and make your direct mail more effective than it already is. Now, we are going to integrate 11 technologies into your direct mail campaign to deliver 8 to 16 impressions per mail piece. Now, on average, when we drive these 8 to 16 impressions, you're going to achieve about a 23 to 46% lift in response over just a traditional standalone direct mail campaign. Now, probably one of the most lucrative things about this platform is that you can drive all of this additional value for only a few pennies per mail piece. So very inexpensive as well. Now, why would we want to drive 8 to 16 impressions per mail piece? Why do we pick that number? Well, because it's directly in alignment with best practices for marketing. One thing's for sure is that we know that the power of repetition is what works. That's why that school board candidate sent Jim 21 pieces of direct mail, because repetition is what works in marketing regardless of the marketing channel. But when you can harness the powerful impact of direct mail and repeat that impression inexpensively through digital channels, you bring yourself into a win-win type of scenario where you can significantly impact that response to that direct mail piece. Marketing rule of sevens: get in front of your marketing prospects at least 7 times to drive a conversion. 80%, some statistical data out there shows 80% of sales, conversions, donations in political, the vote, are made between the 8th and the 12th contact. So with this program, or let's say that you just decide to go layer on omni-channel marketing onto your direct mail campaigns yourselves, these are the contact margins that you want to get these prospects up into to drive a conversion. Okay, so a lot of these tactics here too that I'm talking about in the political power up product, these are strategies that you can also be employing, right? So if you have a political mail client, these are some best practices that you can be talking with them about, and seeing if they are strategically driving the highest response for their mail through the integration of some of these technologies. Now, above and beyond driving a lift in response to mail through the integration of omni-channel strategy, we also have a dashboard. If you are a print or mail provider, you will have the ability to have a dashboard where you can manage all of your clients' campaigns, and your clients will have the ability to log into a client-facing dashboard and see the results of their direct mail campaigns, the integrated digital. They can see key performance indicators and export reports, and have access to all of that at their fingertips, so that they know how well their marketing dollars are working for them, and they can drill down into some of the data about the technologies that are layered onto their mail campaigns. Now, the first thing that we want to do, or what is an effective strategy, is to enhance your mail with social media. And what we do through this first channel is we take that actual mailing list and we find the Facebook and Instagram accounts of the people on the mailing list, and we start serving up ads to them for a couple days before the mail shows up in the mailbox. So we're priming that pump. We're starting to warm them up to that marketing message for the candidate. Then they get that physical, tangible mail piece in the mailbox, reinforcing the social ads. And then for several days after, we are going to show them social ads to further reinforce the mail piece that they received. From there, we're going to provide peace of mind that what your client paid for is being delivered. They have the ability to see the data that's pulled in from USPS Inform Visibility, see the percentage of their mail that's delivered. They can see where the mail is, in the mail stream and when it's projected to be delivered. And then they can get that delivery confirmation, and very granularly all the way down to the individual direct mail recipient. QR codes. So Jim was talking about the utilization of QR codes in mail, and QR codes is a great strategy, especially for political mail, for a couple of different reasons. One, it's going to help lift the response to the mail campaigns because people like to scan QR codes. There's tons of statistical data out there on the efficacy of QR codes. We've all been pushing this now for quite some time. And in addition to that, there's the tracking, reporting, and attribution feature to it. So you can see the number of scans. If you want to, you can use personalized QR codes and you can actually see the individual that scanned that QR code. And let's not forget, depending upon what time of year it is, USPS also has a postal promotion, which is under the mobile shopping promotion. So through the utilization of QR codes, your clients can also tap into a 3% postage discount. And a couple of the technologies I'll talk about today actually have a postal incentive, which is just imperative. The cost of postage keeps going up, the cost of everything keeps going up. So anytime that we can add more value and then pass along some postal savings to the customers, it's definitely a win-win. USPS Informed Delivery. This is probably my favorite thing that USPS has ever done to date. This is a true definition of omni-channel. We are providing an online ad and giving an opportunity for somebody to convert to an offline channel. So everyone signed up for this technology in the morning. They get an email. It shows them scanned images of all the mail that they're going to have in their mailbox. There's a full color clickable ad that can be clicked on so that they can respond, go over to the candidate's website, continue that journey, learn more about that political candidate. And then once someone gets to the website, now we have an opportunity to continue to follow up with them through our other digital channels. Now, Informed Delivery has some astronomical statistics, and my favorite statistic is that it has an average open rate of around 67%. Now, mail with email is a very common tactic in the political mail space, and it's also very effective. Email alone for cold prospecting doesn't deliver the best results, but email paired with mail does. Well, you're never going to get a 67% open rate on an email campaign. So I would highly suggest that you inject an informed delivery piece into your mail campaigns. And you can also take advantage of a 4% postage discount, depending upon what time of the year that you're mailing in. Now, you can also, if you have a candidate that is really into attribution, you can pull a report that will actually show them the first name, last name, address of whomever on the mailing list actually received the email, opened it, and clicked on the ad. Now, call and text tracking is an attribution tool. This is not very common necessarily in the voter space, but for fundraising, this is a fantastic tool. You or your clients could use a call tracking number so that you can track the contact information of every single person that's calling into this number. You can show attribution to the mail, and you can also have a call to action on the mail piece where you could say text, donate now to this number to receive something in return. Maybe that's a link to enroll in email marketing, a link to make a donation, and then you can capture all of the data about the people that are converting by call or text. And in political mail campaigns, grabbing any amount of data that you can about any of the prospects that are engaging is highly, highly valuable for these political candidates and their campaign managers. Now, another really effective way to enhance your mail campaigns is through something that we call district targeting. This is where we are going to display ads throughout the Google Display Network, through Facebook, through Instagram, to the people on the mailing list, but we are also going to cast a much wider net digitally and target prospective voters through certain congressional district codes, and we are going to target them based on demographics that are in alignment with the audience that you are mailing to. So congressional voting district codes, they run kind of wanky. And so this gives us the best opportunity to target the right audience and enhance the people on the mailing list. You don't necessarily want to blast your ads out to a city, a state, but we want to actually target those specific congressional district codes. Another great tactic to enhance your mail is to get in front of the mail recipients through YouTube ads. So harnessing the power of video is extremely valuable. We get a very high response rate on video over a still ad. So, sending a mail piece to the mailbox and then serving up a quick little personable video ad about that political candidate, who they are and why they should be voted for, is extremely valuable at driving a response and delivering a win on voting day. Now, we also enhance the mail campaigns with discovery ads, and this is a 3-for-1. One is the YouTube homepage, two are discovery ads, and that's if you're on your mobile device and you are logged into your Gmail, those are the ads that appear right below the Google toolbar, right? So really good ad placement here. Google is the first most visited site on the web. YouTube is the second most visited site on the web. And then also we display ads through Gmail. Now, Google Discovery is actually changing this technology over to something called demand gen. So in November, there will be no more discovery. It will be called demand gen. But with that comes some additional value where you will also have the ability to tap into video and shorts here and display these ads to your mail audience through these channels. So there will definitely be an enhancement to that starting in November. Now, let's think about how everybody responds to marketing. I get a mail piece in my mailbox. I'm seeing these ads on social. I'm seeing them on YouTube, Gmail, through Google, through these channels. When I respond to them, I am going to go online. I want to learn more about this political candidate. I want to determine if their stance on social issues is in alignment with something that should earn my vote. And so when I go to their website to garner more information, I now am going to pick up a pixel and we have an opportunity to follow them around with ads, get back in front of them in as many instances as we possibly can, and divert their attention away from the other marketing efforts of the other candidates in the space that are vying for their vote as well. So mail is a significant driver of that initial response, and then we have the ability to follow up with them through digital and get back in front of them in as many instances as possible. And Jim made note of something earlier too when you were talking about the different channels and how people have different preferences, right? So, and I think I even saw some statistical data about that through some of the white papers that USPS put out. But, depending upon their demographic or, varying factors about the prospective voter, they want to learn more about political candidates through different channels. They prefer to convert through other channels. And so giving them all of these additional opportunities to engage through these other channels is extremely effective, right? But we know the power of mail, starting with mail and injecting mail throughout these campaigns is so imperative to driving success. So lead match is the last tool in this political power up product. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of other things, but in today's time and space, I'm seeing that marketers are wanting to be more targeted with their mailing, right? So who should I be marketing to? Well, let's say that you are running a digital marketing campaign. They're all going to go to your website too when they respond, but they may not fill out a form or, let you know that they're interested or that they were on your website. There's also going to be just other people that are out there that, might be a swing voter or someone that's on the fence about who they're going to vote for. And they happen to go to the candidate's website to learn more about them. And now with a technology like Lead Match, we have the ability to de-anonymize a website visitor, find out who they are, give the contact information for these people, tell you what activity they're taking on the website. So what social stances are they looking at? What interests do they have on these websites? And build you a mailing list of people that you can market to, that have a specific interest in potentially voting for you on voting day, right? So now you have the ability to put your marketing budget into a mail campaign of people that has some type of interest, right? And again, like I said, they may be on the fence. So it's even more imperative to get back in front of those people with your marketing message to try to ensure the vote come voting day, right? Now, also something that's really, really important is personalization. Okay. And there's so much research out there about how personalization improves the responsiveness of mail and the efficacy of marketing campaigns, and giving you the ability to actually market to them about these social issues or stances that they have an interest in is enabling you to do that. Add their name to the postcard, right? Personalize it in as many facets as you possibly can and drive a very high response rate. Not to mention that if you are running digital marketing campaigns, this is a way for you to further increase the conversion of your digital marketing campaigns by using the power of direct mail. Okay, so direct mail retargeting is a very successful tactic at improving conversions above and beyond digital retargeting that a lot of people are using. And USPS has a postal promotion for a 5% postage discount for direct mail retargeting. And our lead match technology actually does have a special approval from USPS. So we can get you an approval letter if you're using this technology. You get approved one time through the mobile promotions portal, and that's it. You're free to use this tech. Now, the other part of this technology is the attribution piece. So we're spending a significant amount of marketing dollars to send out mail. And so marketers have a heavy interest in who is actually responding, right? So when one of the direct mail recipients goes to the website, we have the ability to know who they are and say, hey, we identified 1,000 people on your website. Out of those 1,000 people, 250 of them were on your mail campaign. And here is who they are. And these are the actions they took on your website as well. So finally getting true attribution to a mail campaign. Very powerful. So that's a political power product, but there's some other technologies that you can utilize to enhance direct mail that are extremely powerful and effective. Now, one of those technologies is something that we use called addressable geofencing. And this is where we can draw a virtual boundary around a residence. So you're mailing to a residence. We actually have the ability to identify every single device known to be within that virtual boundary and display ads to every single device within that household. This is not IP-based targeting. There are 54 billion different data sets being digested on a daily basis to capture the true identification of every single device known to be within the virtual boundary or within that residence that you're mailing to, so that you can send mail and serve up ads to every single device within those households. So true one-to-one marketing and true one-to-one enhancement to your direct mail campaigns. Really powerful stuff. And you can also have an offline conversion zone. Like, let's say, for example, you want to draw a conversion zone around a voting precinct. Any of the prospective voters that receive the mail and the digital ads walks in there, it will ping their device, and then you can actually show that they converted and they voted. Now, you won't know who they voted for, but if you would like to know that they actually voted, you can dig into that information as well. Or we can even curate a list of people that are affiliated with a certain political party, have certain interests or demographics, and we can serve up ads to the devices of those individuals, and then use the lead match pixel to capture those people and build a mailing list so that you can funnel those into your direct mail campaigns as well. Also, something that is currently being used right now by a few of our partners, but is not actively available, is email. So I was talking before when I was about the efficacy of informed delivery and how mail with email is a very good tactic in the political mail space. We do have an email technology that will be rolling out in just a couple of weeks. Like I said, a couple of partners are using it. Of course, we have to go through somewhat of a testing phase, but you will have the ability to harness within our platform, sending out an email prior to the mail being delivered and sending out an email after the mail being delivered. And it's just a phenomenal way to enhance a political mail campaign. So let's talk a little bit about political ad content restrictions. In the mail space, really, there's not any type of a restriction. And so, Jim was saying, hey, I don't really want to touch on some of these issues that they might be marketing about, but some of these issues are pretty wild, and there's just no opportunity for them to be communicated through certain channels. Like Google and Facebook just are not going to allow it. There are just certain things that you cannot market through platforms like Google or Facebook. Now, you can market those issues through direct mail. There's really no restrictions on the direct mail campaign. You can also market those issues through informed delivery. And then it also, in addition, addressable geofencing. So the addressable geofencing doesn't have any restrictions really in terms of the type of content or imagery or any of these social issues. But with Google or Facebook, you can definitely use those platforms, but you have to be more cautious about the message. So you might want to have the imagery look the same as the mail piece, but we're not going to be as wild, through those channels. That the campaigns will just get shut down, unfortunately. Okay. So real quick, I just want to go over a case study. Now, a really successful tactic that I see a lot of our partners employing are chasing the ballot. So they're chasing the ballot marketing campaigns. And this was one of those campaigns. It was about 95,000 pieces. They delivered about 600,000 impressions, which is about 7 times the impressions that they would have delivered over a direct mail campaign. The candidate won the election with almost 59% of the votes. So really, really, really close race, right? So if you think about another political candidate in the space that might just be doing mail, and you have a client that's doing mail and digital, it might just be that strategy that pushes them over the edge and delivers that win for them. And this candidate actually did attribute the victory to the program and was pushing it to the state and national levels going forward. So very successful strategy. We do run these campaigns on some very large mailings as well. This one was about 600,000, delivering almost 3 million impressions. They had 3 times the engagement rate over just a traditional mail campaign, 3 times the response, just by adding the digital enhancement, 7 times standard engagement rate on social media. And we captured 35,000 addresses from the website so that they could use those leads to funnel into their mail campaigns. So, print mailers, you want more revenue, you know, the lead match pixel is a great way to build mailing lists so that you guys can put more mail into the mail stream. And we're marketing to the right people, right? And the candidates are going to get a good response from that and good conversions, especially if we're marketing to those swing voters. I also just want to talk about the time sensitivity issue, because I do have a couple of sales reps in this space. They have political mail clients and they're like, oh my gosh, I just don't know that I can add this omni-channel onto my direct mail campaigns. They turn and burn too fast. And so it's all about planning, right? Once you get a code on the site and you get Facebook permissions the first time, you're done. I mean, it's not like your political candidate's only going to mail one time, before election time, right? So there's going to be a little bit of planning there. And sometimes we have to put a little bit more effort in if we want to add more value for our clients. So, just try to be open-minded and know that, yes, there is a little bit more planning here, but once that planning is done, you just upload a mailing list and you keep on going. Also, there are technologies that don't require putting a code on the site and things like that, like the addressable geo. There's no cookies. There's no code that needs to be put on site. There's no Facebook permissions that have to be acquired. So, just if you're looking to add more value for your customers, communicate, right? Communicate with us, talk with your clients about their strategy and what they're trying to accomplish. And most of the time, definitely we would have a solution where we can deliver what they need without as much preparation. I will tell you this, sometimes it is challenging, full transparency, to get informed delivery on a mailing because you have to have at least that 24-hour window for USPS to add that informed delivery. So sometimes the campaign might have to go out without the informed delivery. But if you're looking to tap into that 4% postage discount, you're going to need to give yourself a little bit more time on that. So, but yes, definitely time sensitive mailing. So little bit of preparation required there to deploy these types of campaigns, but, definitely worth it, guys, adding a lot of value and really helping deliver the most high response strategic direct mail campaigns we can in this space. Okay. All right. So that is a pretty good overall strategy on omni-channel integration into direct mail campaigns and some of the technologies that we have available here at Direct Mail 2.0. Really thankful, Jim, for joining us today. Here is Jim's contact information. And anybody that's interested in learning more about omni-channel enhancement for direct mail campaigns or more about our political power up product, you can scan that QR code there, or you can email us at sales@dm20.com. Let me go ahead and hop over here and see if we have any questions. Oh, Jim said, as of September 16th, we have 58.5 million informed delivery users with a national saturation rate of almost 31%. That's strong, right? So, and growing. I mean, I remember when you were just doing the little beta testing over in like the Pennsylvania area. So that's definitely a strong saturation for sure. How much time is required to set up a Direct Mail 2.0 campaign? If the list changes for every mailing, does that require a new setup? So really, you can set up a Direct Mail 2.0 campaign in 10 minutes. So we just need a mailing list and a few pieces of creative, and we need to know the client's website. So really just a couple of minutes. And if the mailing list changes after each mailing, it does not require a new setup. You can just upload a new mailing list into the campaign. Now, I don't know the answer to this. I think the answer is yes. Jim, does election law require a postcard to have info about who paid for the advertising?
I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah. So I know we do. I'm certain. I think that you do, but Wayne, I'll make a note here and we'll get back to you on that. You definitely have to disclose who is marketing in some of the digital campaigns, but we'll find out about mail. Josh London said you can find a zip code breakdown of informed delivery users here. Yes, that's a really good tool. So if you want to see saturation by zip code, you can use that URL there and kind of get an idea of the type of saturation. Clay Hall
Yeah,
says,
and
go ahead, Jim.
I was gonna say, and Josh is on my team, and so, like, for example, in my zip code, the saturation rate is 42%. And one thing on that informed delivery is when I receive it, and let's say it is a political ad, I could share that ad with other folks. So I can connect certain social media feeds and I can share that out, but also I can set a reminder because maybe in addition to the physical mail piece, I can tell it, remind me on early voting day to go out and vote. So those are some great enhancements that we've made to the informed delivery as well.
Yeah, those are newer too. I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but there's definitely some new enhancements. Hey, you have any information? They've been talking about it for years, but I saw some evidence, some more information about that there might finally be a release of B2B informed delivery. You have any information on that, Jim?
Yes, it's coming. It's being beta tested, and so we're really setting up the dashboard and the back end to that. But what'll be nice about it is it's a place that the business can, even if they ship with us too, can connect all of that together in the informed delivery feeds. So it's actually about ready to launch, and I think you guys will really like it when it hits.
Oh yeah. Well, I know it's been a challenging thing. The turnover is so high, in businesses, and there's just been a lot of other challenges, but it looked like they were getting pretty close to having a final product on it. So that's exciting. Somebody asked how long the informed delivery discount runs. So the program for informed delivery discount is August 1st through December 31st. And it's usually those same times. The calendar came out for next year, and it's the same times next year as well too. Okay, and that direct mail retargeting promotion runs until November 30th, and that also is an approved promotion for next year. We will definitely verify for you, Wayne, about if you have to disclose who paid for the advertising, but someone else on the webinar here, Clay Hall, said that you do have to disclose who paid for the advertising, but we'll confirm that for you. Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. I really appreciate you joining us today, Jim. Very much appreciated. And is there another question? Let's see. Oh, so Josh put the postal promotions calendar in there for us. Thank you, Josh. But we will be reaching out to you also to let you know how to get a hold of us. We thank everybody for joining us today, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thanks, Jim.